A very good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of Inside the Sports. My name is Moses Wahisi and today we're not in studio actually. We decided to be on the field and I don't know how well you understand the sports fencing. If you don't, then today you'll get to know a little bit about it, but we will go in much more detail because I have a world championship silver medalist here with me and she will be dissecting and tell us why exactly did she decide to take on fencing. A lot of people call her Lexi.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Karibu sana Kenya.
Asante.
Asante. You're from German, but at the same time you have roots in Kenya. Even before we talk about it, last month World Championship, a silver medal for you. I don't know what comes in your mind when you remember the name Song Sarah.
Nothing, unfortunately.
She took gold and you played with her in the finals.
Sarah Song, yeah. This way around. See, I'm already trying to forget it. No, it's great. Like, she fenced so well. And obviously I didn't watch her way to the final, but everyone who watched us in this day said, okay, you two, you were just on such a high level, and in the end it was one touch. Yeah. So I gotta give it to her. She made the right decision on that last touch. I went for it. It was just a few seconds. So this time, she got the gold, I got the silver. Next time.
So fair, actually. I was watching that game and I'm like, because there's a time she was ahead, tied at 4-4. You went a couple of points ahead, and then the final seconds, her shot was lower than yours. Yeah. And she took the points. Yeah. How has your journey been to be able to get to the place where you're playing in the World Championship? You've also had a silver medal in the World Cup, I think.
World Cup and European Championships as well. Yeah.
Not the easiest of a journey, or has it been a merry affair for you to be there?
No. It was a difficult journey, but I'm very persistent and I work from a place of passion. So, you know, since I started at the age of 21, I was really in love with the sport and I was very passionate about it, but also very persistent about my goals. I knew where I wanted to go. I knew what I wanted to reach. So actually this silver now, it's a milestone. It's not where I want to end my career, but it's one of those big things that I wanted to accomplish and now have.
Maybe it will be a sad state of affair for Kenyans because you're Alexander Ndolo, not representing Kenya, but representing Germany. And in Germany, winning for them and putting them in the world map. But you're ours. Yes. You're a Kenyan.
And I feel Kenyan, I really do. You know, every time I come back and I work with the kids from the fencing program, I feel so happy. Being in Nairobi makes me like just rejoice, you know. This is every time after the season, at least once a year I come to Nairobi, and after all the stress of the season, I land, I go and see my kids, I see the team here in Nairobi on the ground, and I have a big smile on my face because I'm like, yeah, this is the love for the sport that I always feel, but in the stress of the day-to-day struggle sometimes can't uphold. Yeah.
For the benefit of those who don't know who Alexander Ndolo is and your roots in Kenya, keep us to base. Who exactly is Alexander?
So I'm born and raised in Germany, but my mother is from Poland and my father is from Kenya. My father had an academic scholarship in the 70s and he went to study abroad in Poland where he met my mother. He finished his studies there and then they moved to Germany for his PhD. And this is where my sisters and I were born. So I'm half Kenyan. I always felt half Kenyan, and whenever I can, I come back.
Has there ever been a time that you were like, oh, I wish I would have been representing Kenya?
Sure, of course. Yeah.
But on top of that, you've been representing Germany and you're doing well at it. Take me through your Kenyan history and what you're doing in Kenya, because I've been able to watch some of your footage, you and the young children in Kenya, trying as much as possible to teach them the basics when it comes to the fencing as a sport. Why are you doing that and what exactly have you been doing?
So there came a point in my career where I've already reached some of my goals, and I felt so blessed because fencing has made me travel the world. I met awesome people and I thought, okay, how can I give back? How can I also create something? And so I was thinking about Kenya because every time I come and visit, or at least in the past when I came and visited and I showed people what I'm doing for a living, there wasn't much knowledge. People were like, okay, what is this funny white suit with the helmet? What are you doing? So I thought, okay, let's find some people who are also in love with fencing like me here in Nairobi, and let's just start a program. And this was in 2014. So since then, we have been slowly building the program. I have been in touch with the World Fencing Federation, to try to collect some donations. I've been bringing them by myself because we are still looking for sponsorship a little bit. And so every time I fly, I take one suitcase for the kids, one small one for myself. If my mom comes to visit, she brings stuff. So it has been like very kidogo, but we are making it happen. And since 2019, we are a part of the World Fencing Federation. And that has been a major step, let me tell you.
You're talking about Kenya?
Yes, when I'm here, usually I actually mean Kenya Fencing Federation. Because I feel so connected to the program. I'm a founding member of this fencing federation. And there came a moment when we were working with these awesome kids. We started in Huruma, and this is also our base here in Nairobi. And the kids are just, like fish to water. You gave them the fencing things, you gave them the knowledge, and they were like, wow. And they were very talented kids, so we were thinking, we want them to be able to compete on the world stage, to compete at international competitions. But for this, you need to be affiliated to the Olympic Committee of Kenya, the National Olympic Committee, NOC, and you need to be affiliated to the World Fencing Federation. We started the process. Maybe it took us 5 years. But here we are in 2019. We finally became an affiliated member to both NOC and the World Fencing Federation.
3 years after that, do you think that Kenya is moving in the positive direction? Because we have some young talent. I've been able to see a number of Kenyans actually participating outside the country. So something positive must be happening.
Totally. I mean, at these World Championships last month, where I won my silver, it wasn't just historic for me, because we had the first fencer from Kenya representing Kenya at an international competition at the World Championships. So for me, in fencing competitions, we have the flags of all the countries around the hall, and just to see the Kenyan flag up there, we're going in the right direction, we're exposing our young athletes. It was beautiful.
What do you think is the potential for the country? Not Germany, because we've already seen what that can bring, but as a country, Kenya, what are our limits? What should we do, or what needs to be done for us to also say that, yes, we can compete, and not just compete, but compete with the purpose of winning?
I think talent-wise, limitless. I mean, what I've seen, again, when I met with the kids these days, really limitless. I believe, and this is also one of the reasons why I wanted to start a fencing program, Kenya has so much potential when it comes to athletes. And the perception in Europe is, or in the world is, we can produce long-distance runners. And now we have our first javelin champion. I mean Kenya. We have the first 100-meter sprinter, and we're slowly showing the world we're so much more than long-distance running. So I think talent-wise, limitless. When it comes to really traveling, to getting those experiences, we need sponsorship for sure, because the international fencing competitions are all around the world.
To analyze it a little bit and go back to your personal story, because at a tender age, you're not a fencer. You're into pentathlon, I think. And then you started the sport of fencing at an age of 21. Why did you choose fencing at that age, and how was your sporting journey being for the first time that you thought, oh my, I can be an athlete?
So I started track and field when I was 5 and pentathlon when I was 10. And from a very young age, people were telling me, you are very talented for any kind of sport, movement. In pentathlon, fencing is one of the sports. So people were really seeing me and were saying, oh, you're good at this. But then came a moment when I was supposed to go to a boarding school for fencing, and my parents couldn't afford it. This was when I was 14. So imagine what I could have achieved in my career if money wasn't an issue. So when I was 21, I had the chance. I finished high school. I told myself I want to try this on a high level, and I financed myself and made it work. But I always had this in the back of my mind. Money shouldn't be an issue when it comes to raw talent and passion. So this is kind of what I'm trying to give now to the kids in Kenya, because anyone who's from Nairobi knows that Huruma is not a really rich neighborhood, right? But the kids want to do it. They come whenever we give them a class, and I just told to myself I want to build a federation. I want to make us international, but I want to make sure that there's always a small part where Doesn't matter if you are rich or not. If you apply yourself, you will be able to do the sport, because I don't want to have other stories kind of like mine where we lose out on talent just because of the financial issue.
Yeah. And financial issues are a big challenge, something you've been able to experience. Has your journey now been easy? Or is there a moment that you're in the sport and you're like, yes, I'm doing this, I need a break, I need to come back, something happens? Or from the time you started, has it been a merry affair, an easy affair for all these years, or you have a story to tell?
It's never been easy. Like, I've been doing it now for 14 years, and it's literally never been easy, because not only I started really late, so I had a lot to catch up, and I was financing myself for the first competitions and doing this and that. So it was a struggle, but it was a struggle in something that I love. So it was okay for me, and as I said, I'm very persistent. So in the back of my mind, I was like, let me show you that I can do it, you know, that my talent is there. And I also wanted to show to others what you can achieve if you apply yourself. Doesn't matter if it's sports or anything else. If you apply yourself and you are persistent, like, you know, those 10,000 hours, I've put them in and then some, and look what I've already achieved, and I'm not finished with my career.
For those who don't understand the sport, I'm one of the people who are now in the process of learning the sport. I know there are different categories, épée being one of what you actually play. What are the differences between fencing, or what exactly should a beginner, a person who wants to start this sport, have in mind, or what do they need to know about the sport before they fully embrace it?
So you can embrace it even if you don't know what it's all about, but just let me real quick tell you, it's 3 weapons: épée, saber, and foil, and they have different target areas. So foil only has like a silver vest, only the torso can be touched. Saber is from the waist up, with the head also being a target area, and you can not just stab, but you can also hit. And in épée fencing, what I do, you can touch from head to toe. And in foil and in saber, you need the right of attack, which is a little bit complicated for beginners. But épée, what I'm doing, anyone who wants to try it, come and try it, because you just need to touch first. So it's very easy to understand. Then it becomes complex, because your opponent also can touch wherever he wants, and he just needs to touch first.
And for ladies, because I know most of the time when a sport starts, you find like the male wants to dominate it more. But this is a sport even the ladies can play at the highest level, and young ladies in Kenya need also to know that it's not just something that you'll say it's a male-dominated sport.
Absolutely. Women, girls come, because the thing is, in competitions it's just men against men and women against women. But I practice with men as well, and it's a strategic sport. So if you have the better strategy, I like to say it's like chess, playing chess, but like in movement, yes? So if my strategy is better, you can be like a bull, you can be strong and fast, but I will win anyways, because, you know, I'm smarter. So this is also what I'm telling the young kids from the program, or the young girls. I tell, like, you don't have to be scared of the boys. If you are smart, like, look at my opponent at World Championships in semifinals from Italy. She is very short, but she is already world champion from some years ago, because she has good strategies. She's like feisty, and you know, it doesn't matter size, gender, no problem.
And is it an expensive sport?
Well, the equipment is expensive, and that's the biggest problem, I think. You know, when I was starting the program and I was also looking for donations in Germany, people were telling me, oh, you know, why are you doing this? Or, you know, it will be expensive. But I said, no, let me just bring the first kits over there, because you can share. So if you just want to try it out recreationally, you can come over, you can borrow the kit, and then it's not expensive. But if you want to go for professional competitions, of course you need your own kit, you know, your own weapons, then it's expensive.
I know it will be difficult to compare Germany and Kenya in regards to the sport. In Kenya, this is a very small baby that needs to be nurtured in the best way possible. But what makes Germany and other nationalities, the likes of Korea, the likes of USA, and all the countries that do star and prosper in this sport, what do they do that a young nation that wants to pick up this sport should also pick up maybe, and say that this will be the positives that will lead us to also be the world beaters?
So our goal, or my goal, is it for Kenya to establish a fencing club in every county, because you need a lot of kids to produce 1 or 2 champions, yes, because they need to apply themselves, all those things. So I think what maybe the US or Germany, why they are ahead of Kenya at the moment, is just that they have the structure. So what I want to do, or what Kenya Fencing Federation wants to do in the next years, is build the structure, for which obviously we need sponsorship.
Yeah.
But once we build the structure, as I said, our talent is limitless. But you need the structure to really make it work.
Yeah. And as a country now, I know you're saying 2019, that is when we were recognized by the International Federation, also the National Olympics Committee. Should we say that now the federation is moving to the right direction? And what exactly is your interest in the federation? Because others will say, yes, you are a player representing Germany. As much as you have interest into building talent, do you think it is something that can be well orchestrated and make that dream become a reality?
So I'm on the board of the Fencing Federation, the Kenyan Fencing Federation, and I'm the director of international relationships, so I'm keeping in touch with the World Fencing Federation. I'm keeping in touch with the donors from abroad, because there's Alster, which is a fencing manufacturer, fencing equipment manufacturer. So they've given us some donations. So I'm coordinating. I'm, staying in touch with people. And whenever I come here, I bring in my knowledge, because I've been doing it for so many years and I know what needs to be.
Allow me to say then you're not selfish, because others will say then that will derail your quest to become a star, because you have to travel now and then, here and there, but at the same time you have to take care of this baby. I'm talking about Kenya Fencing Federation.
But we stay in contact through WhatsApp. The world has become so small in this regard. So let me tell you, I stay in touch with the team here in Nairobi all the time. It doesn't matter whether I'm at a competition in China or in Germany, or whether I'm here. We stay in touch. I help as much as I can, and I don't know, if they want to call me selfish, they can, but I wouldn't know why, because, I helped.
They won't call you selfish, because exactly you're not selfish, actually.
Yeah.
But in the quest for you not being selfish, it might affect your performance at the different championships that you go to. If others will say you will end up putting more of your time in building this baby, of which, as Kenyans, we definitely must be proud you're doing that.
I don't think it will, because I can be very focused. If you are watching footage of me at competitions, I'm laser focused. So if I'm at the competition, you won't reach me. My phone is on flight mode. But if I'm out of the competition, this actually helps me to relax. It sounds funny, work, but it's relaxing you. Yeah, because I'm building something. And then, so my father died when I was 10. This is also one of the reasons why I don't speak Kiswahili, because he didn't get a chance to teach me how to speak Swahili. But for me, this is not just a way to build my legacy, but to honor his name, because he and my Kenyan family, they made sacrifices to really come, for my father to come to Europe. I think that was a sacrifice, because my grandmother had to let him go at a very young age. This was in the 70s, no cell phones, so they couldn't stay in touch as they wanted to. Before he died, they only saw each other 3 times. Big sacrifice, in my opinion, from my grandmother's side. For him to go to a cold and different country, learn 2 different languages just to be in those places, and to give me and my sisters the opportunity to be born there. For me, it's like full circle to come back to Kenya and build something in my name, but obviously that's his name too, and honor his name.
I know time is almost catching up with us. Speak to that young boy, young girl, who thinks that maybe they're 10 years old and they can't start this sport, because others always say that for you to star and be a proper sports person, then you need to start at a very tender age. But your narrative is different and the story is different. You started this sport at 21, and you last month, not talking about last year or 4 years ago, last month you just lost in the final of the World Championship by just 1 point, almost the final 10 seconds of the game. So it can be done regardless of how old you think you are or how young you think you are.
Don't listen to the naysayers. Go for it. If you love something, you will be successful. And success is also defined by yourself. So if you just want to see where you can go, if you want to get better, go for it. Don't let anyone tell you something, because everyone is talking from their perspective. So if someone is telling you you can't do it, it's because they don't believe they could do it. Just go for it. Be stubborn, be persistent, go with passion, and be patient.
Patience is key.
Yes.
For those who might be out there and that can be able to assist the Kenyan Federation, and they can be able to assist the many young children that have seen you try as much as possible to give them a platform to learn, to give them the equipment that they so much desire to have so that they can also learn this sport. What exactly do they need to do, or how well can any person out there be able to assist this federation and also the same children that you're trying to assist?
Anyone who wants to help us can reach out on social media to me, and I also have a website. I know unfortunately at the moment it's in German, but if you scroll down it's the same as every website. You find the place where you can write a message. So don't hesitate, just write a message either to me on my social media, or Kenya Fencing Federation also has an Instagram page and a website. So just contact us, because any little help we would be grateful for, and I know that it will go a long way. I just know it because I see the raw talent that we have. I get very excited by it, and I don't want this one athlete that went to World Championships for Kenya. I don't want him to be the last one. I want him to be the first of a million, you know?
I also need some lessons.
Okay, let's do it.
But for free.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Alexandra Ndolo, she has been a very, very instrumental member, not only of Kenya. I'll also say kudos to Germany, because with Germany now we have Ndolo, who's coming back to Kenya. And in Kenya, she's trying as much as possible to give all these young children a platform actually to try this new sport, I will call it, in the country. But it is a sport that, yes, we have talent. It might be raw, but it can also be nurtured. And maybe one day we'll also have a Kenyan going all out there and representing the country at the biggest level and winning those medals. My name is Moses Wahisi. This has been Inside Sports. Have a lovely afternoon, and always keep it here on KTN News.